destroyed happened once in history and it's happening again now. His children are going to destroy your children. They're going to punish you and make your children suffer. Let him, what do we saving him for? He's only a no goodnik anyway. So why should we save him? His children will make your children suffer. So Hashem says, today, what is he, guilty or not guilty? Asher Risham. Where is he today? So I'm saying, well, today he's not so guilty. So Asher Risham. So we can't punish him for the future if that's where he is today. So we'll ask, Ben Zora Mori is punished for what he's going to become, and Ishmael is saved because he's not there. Good fashion. It's like a Valga Teretz. It says, look at the Psukim, and you'll see that Ben Zora Mori is an interesting pasuk. It says, like Ben Zora Mori, very interesting words. It says, the parents come to the elders of the city, but he's rebellious. He doesn't listen to our words, to our voices. The area of the Ben Zora it says, he's not a makabel. He's not a makabel. He doesn't listen. Yishmael wasn't that. Yishmael was going to do tshuva himself. He wasn't. The Averis is not a makabel. He's not willing to accept upon himself the fact that you have to listen to your parents, you have to listen to your rebbeim, you have to listen. You have to turn your ears towards them. Very important. So two things that make you Ben Zora Mori. One is you reject the goal of getting closer to Hashem. You reject the goal of controlling your passions. You reject that goal. You may not be doing it. You not be kadosh, but you reject that goal. That's one thing. That's one avera. And you're not listening. You're not makabel. I always say what the difference between a successful Talmud in Yeshiva and the non-successful Talmud Yeshiva is the successful Talmud is makabel. Makabel means I listen to what the Rebbeim are saying. And you know what? I'll always say you don't have to accept everything blindly. But I'm going to listen to what they say, and I'm going to work it out myself. I'm going to listen. I'm going to try to digest what they're saying. I'm not going to just say, don't listen to Rebbeim. Maybe they're saying something that's important. And digest it, and think about it. And be makabel, not without thinking. Be makabel for real. Be a real makabel. You know what? Rebbe said something, maybe it makes sense to me. How do I apply it? Why is it true? Then you'll be the opposite of the Ben Zora Mori. You'll be the opposite of that kind of person. I mentioned to the guys that this parsha, not everybody realizes this. This parsha is unique. More mitzvahs than any other parsha in the Torah. It's loaded with mitzvahs. Every pasuk is different mitzvah almost. And a few other parts have a lot of mitzvahs like Mishpatim, but Kiseitze wins. More mitzvahs. The last mitzvah in this parsha, Purim Torah, I'll tell you a little bit Purim Torah. This is Amalek, Zeichas Asher Sol Amalek. There's the cute medrash. It's not so cute, but it's an interesting medrash. It's not part of my shmuz, I'm mention it. It's an interesting medrash. That Yoav was the general of David, and David says, go kill Amalek. And he kills all the males. And David says, why'd you kill the males? So I learned in Cheder. It says, Timka Zachar Amalek. The males of Amalek. And David says, that's what you're going to Cheder. We learned it wrong. It's Zechar Amalek, not Zachar. Remnants of Amalek. So the Mefarshim say, the Rosh really says, that the Rebbe didn't make a mistake. The Rebbe didn't check over when the Talmud was chazering. When he heard Yovel and Chazer Zachar, he didn't correct him. The Rebbe's job is to check what the Talmudim are doing, just on the side. Otherwise, you make big mistakes. Okay? Zachar and Zechar. But there's an interesting pasuk. The pasuk says, Asher karcha baderech. The Rashi brings it Pshatim shekarcha. They met you upon the way. One of the Pshatim shekarcha is Lashon Mikra. Happened upon you. I would say that's Amalek's message, and that's what we have to work on against Amalek. Amalek's message, what's a kasha? What's a kasha? Klal Yisrael, history. What's the history? When did this happen? This happened pretty much before they got to Har Sinai, after Mitzrayim, right? The whole time between Mitzrayim and Har Sinai is 7 weeks. So in that 7-week period, sometime, the Amalek came. So you have to figure out Amalek's a bunch of idiots. You heard all the history of Klal Yisrael. They demolished the greatest power of the world, Mitzrayim. There was Asher Makos, and then everybody heard of the Asher Makos. And to finish up, they had Kriyas Yamsuf. The army was totally destroyed. So why are you going to attack Jewish people? Kasha, but Amalek, right? You hate them, very nice. You hate them so much. But it's not a logical move. So the first say, what's Chasher Korchach there? They happened upon Klal Yisrael. Amalek's message is Mikra. Things just happened. Things worked out for Klal Yisrael. Just happened. Doesn't have to work out, it worked out. Happened. Happenstance. And our message is exactly the opposite of happenstance. That's the whole Purim story. It sounded like happenstance. We said it's not happenstance. But Amalek's message is just happenstance. And I think the message for us over here, is that we're remembering in the middle of the summer, the end of the summer, Amalek, to teach us, now you're entering the days before Rosh Hashanah, realize there's no such thing as Mikra. It didn't just happen. Things that happen to Klal Yisrael, to you, to each individual, is not Mikra. There's a Gezerah. The Gezerah is happening on Rosh Hashanah. So I better start to think about it a little more seriously. My entire future, the future of people that I know, my parents, my friends, it's all dependent on the din that's going to happen on Rosh Hashanah. And the din that happens on Rosh Hashanah is dependent on a lot of factors, and some of them I don't know, obviously. But the factors are, one of the factors is, where do I plan to go? Where am I? What Hashem says, where is this guy going to end up? Is he a Chas v'Shalom Ben Tzara Morag going to end up to be a listim? Are you going to be that kind of person? Or are you going to be a tzaddik? Where is he going to end up? By Yom Kippur, most of us won't be a tzaddik. But are we headed in that direction? And Hashem is going to judge us 2.5 weeks from now. Where we're headed, where we're going to end up, what's going to be with ourselves. And it's not, but it's on the one hand scary, but on the other hand, as I mentioned also Shabbos, tremendous opportunity. Tremendous opportunity. And it's an interesting thing. There's the way the Chazal speak about Elul, it may rachamim. Right? I told you the Chassidim say the Melech is in the palace the whole year, but in Elul he's in the Sada. He comes to the fields, he comes to meet everybody. It's a whole different world. There's tshuva is a very difficult thing. But in these days, tshuva is much easier. Tshuva is a difficult thing, to change. Very hard in life to change anything. You ever try to change something? When to change some behavior is very hard. Tshuva means change. I've been doing something wrong, I'm going to stop doing it. Not so easy. Not so easy to stop, right? The guy who never gets up to davening, never gets up. It's hard to get up. Once you start getting up, it's getting up. But that day you have to start. I'll mention something that Rav Dessler says. Interesting thing, an important idea. Rav Dessler says, Chazal tells Flum Tzara Agra. According to the amount of effort, tzara, the pain, how hard it is, that's the reward, right? So there's this guy who can't get up in the morning. And he fights with himself to get up. So that guy is much more schar to come to davening than the guy who bounces out of bed easily. From Tzara. So you think if you're that guy who's hard for you to get up, and you get up, how much schar are you getting? So Dessler says, what about the guy who's hard for him to get up, and he trained himself? It took a year, it took 6 months, took 3 months. He gets up, never sleeps in. Always gets up.
Even more.
Right? So, but it's not tzara anymore. It's easy for him. He never thinks about sitting in. So does he get flum tzara agra? So if Dessler says that if you were once the guy who was flum tzara agra, once it was hard for you, you get the schar your whole life, the rest of your life, as if you're having trouble with it.
How does he know that?
He's a smart man. I don't know. He knows, but he says it, so he must know it. He must have a right. Right? He knows. He didn't say things that he didn't know for sure. So that's the thing. Also, things are not easy for us. Whatever it is, tefillah for some of us is hard. What's very hard for most of us is to learn properly. And I think that's another thing we should think about. Change between now and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, or at least the small thing. How much time do I waste? How much time one of the base measures I waste? Certainly how much time out of the base measure I waste. But you know what? Forget the time you're out of the base measure. When you're in the base measure, how much time do we waste? I made it in the base measure. I even opened the Gemara. So why am I not learning? So those little, it's not a big thing. I'm here already. I'm doing it. So let me do it. There's the Yetzer Hara. We all have the Yetzer Hara. But the beginning of the parsha told us that each one of but there's nothing that we can't overpower the Yetzer Hara with. I'll just close. The Mesilas Yesharim said today. We learned the Mesilas Yesharim today. At the end of the second parak, in Zehirus, this defines what Zehirus is. Zehirus is checking myself out when I do anything. So he says, none of us, even if we become tremendously Zohar, we're always checking ourselves, would have the power to overcome that Yetzer Hara. Yetzer is much stronger. Kodesh Baruch Hu wouldn't help us, we wouldn't be able to do it. But if we decide we're going to do it, and we show ourselves, not everybody we're doing it, they'll help us. And there's no end to it. I can say from experience, my own experience, and experience from my Talmidim, many times I saw people who struggled, tried, they struggled but they tried, all of a sudden, they win. Rosh will help you, and you get to places where you can't believe you get to. I'll tell you one little story about a Talmud of mine that I was thinking about, in the summer, who until Hanukkah, I don't think I saw him in the Beis Medrash at all, maybe once or twice. And Hanukkah, all of a sudden he started with my shir, and he started to really learn. And became a different person. Went back to his high school in Baltimore, and met his rebbeim. They said, what do you do? They told him how much he was learning, and he went to Yisrael to the Kol eventually. He became a Mitsuyan. They couldn't believe it. And the reason I believe it, because once a person makes up his mind, I saw it, that's why I believe it, I saw it in my own eyes. But once a person makes up his mind, I'm going to accomplish it, it's no longer yours to accomplish, Rosh will take you there. So as hard as it may seem, and as hard as it looks, and as hard, and a way out of my personal plan, being that kind of person is, if I show myself, and I show Abraham Shalom, I'm ready to do it, the Siyata D'Shmaya is unfathomable, it's infinite. All of a sudden, the Rebbe Shalom says, you're trying, I'm going to help you. And it's hard, I'm not saying it's not going to be hard, but we'll see at a certain point, it's not so hard. The beginning is hard. So, Chazal tells Haskalos Kashos. So, Haskalos Kashos means the beginning is hard. But once you got to the beginning, it's much like Haskalos Kashos. The beginning is hard.